If you are avoiding neural network models due to complexity associated with PyTorch or TensorFlow, then today's video will be helpful. Today I will show you how you can use only 3 lines of code to construct your neural network and predict using it. Okay, let me first explain the dataset. In this dataset, there are 56 rows. And there are a couple of columns. The last column is pecan yield. Pecan yield actually reflects how much pecan production there would be or there is based on historical data. The target variable or the prediction by the neural network would be pecan yield. So the neural network will train using each of these rows, and then finally will try to predict this pecan yield based on whatever information is provided and see how accurate the results look. The first column is row ID. Obviously, these numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, these are actually row sequences. Practically, they're not important. The pecan yield is not related to row ID at all. So in the code, we will be ignoring this first column. This column is water per acre. It is expected that the more water is given, the more pecan will be produced. Although in reality, I don't know how much fact there is in terms of more water will give more pecan. But let's assume that it is a fact. Now, salinity level, this is another variable or another column in the data. It is expected that the lesser salt you have in the soil, that means the lower the salinity level is, the better it is for the plants. So pecan yield will be higher. So there is a negative relationship between salinity level and pecan yield. Then fertilizer per acre, this is another column. So let's assume that the relationship is such that the more fertilizer is given, the more pecan will be produced. In reality, that might not be true. So each row here has 3 independent variables: water per acre, salinity level, and fertilizer per acre. And then we have one column that is one variable, pecan yield, which depends on the previous 3 variables: water per acre, salinity level, and fertilizer per acre. So that means in our neural network, the input would be water per acre, salinity level, and fertilizer per acre, and the output would be pecan yield, because pecan yield would be something that we want to predict. So after this data is given to the neural network, then the neural network should be ready in such a way that when you tell it water per acre, salinity level, and fertilizer per acre, in the output it can predict what amount of pecan would be produced. Okay, so that is the model we want to build. Ideally, these sorts of models are called regressors, regression-based models. It need not be linear regression. It can be any non-linear regression as well. Now let's see how good of a neural network we can build with this dataset. So here is my Jupyter notebook. Without even thinking, most of the times I import NumPy, and I import it as NP. I also will use some pandas function. So I'm importing pandas as PD. Then I will also import some matplotlib function, pyplot as plt. Let me see if everything is fine. Yes, everything looks fine so far. So now let me read that file that we just discussed. So I'll be using pandas. That object is pd, and dot I'll be using read CSV method. My file there is named pecan.csv. Even though I am using the read CSV file, oh sorry, not CSV, it is txt. My file is pecan.txt. Even though I am using read CSV method, my file is a txt file, and the delimiter is a tab instead of comma. So I will have to explicitly mention the delimiter. I'm mentioning that the delimiter is a/t, that means a tab. So now let's see if I have read this data correctly. So the return data frame is printed this way, and it looks like my program has read it correctly. We can also draw a scatter plot to see what are the relationships between water per acre and this pick and yield. We can use this PLT object, that is the PyPlot object, to draw a scatter plot quickly. And we can say that from df I'm taking the column that is called water per acre. Let me copy this one and I put it here as a string. And in the y-axis, let's say I want to put the values I have in the last column, which is pick and yield. Okay, so let's see. Yes, as expected, more water we have, the more the pick and yield. So instead of water per acre here, let's use the salinity level. So salinity level. So this was the column name. And it shows that it's going downward. So the more salt we have in the soil, the lesser pick and production we have. Now finally we had fertilizer per acre, fertilizer per acre. That is also a positive trend. That means that the more fertilizer is given, the more the pick and is. Again, that might not be the reality. It's a synthetic data set. So the synthetic data set is constructed not based on facts, but based on educational objectives. Okay, I'll also see what sort of columns we have using the df.info method. So we have this row ID, water per acre, salinity level, fertilizer per acre, and pick and yield. Okay, all good. Now what I am going to do is the following. I will be using scikit-learn to construct the neural network. This particular class is known as MLPRegressor. So from sklearn dot neural network, neural networks, NEURAL, neural network, I'm going to import MLPRegressor. Okay, and it worked fine, so that means there is no spelling mistake. Okay, so now I'm going to use this, and then I am saying that how many hidden layers I will have. This is the first line of the neural network. Hidden layer sizes. I mentioned the hidden layer sizes in a tuple. The first hidden layer should have 20 neurons. The second one should have 30 neurons, and I'm saying that the third one should have 30 neurons. The fourth one should have 40. So practically you can create as many as you need. Then I'm also mentioning what the maximum iteration should be. So I'm saying that max underscore here, which is maximum number of iterations. So in scikit-learn's MLPRegressor, this max iter parameter refers to the maximum number of iterations or epochs. That is the iteration over the entire training dataset. Each epoch will represent one complete pass through the entire training dataset. So that is, I'm mentioning 5,000 iterations. Then I'm mentioning that the solver that the neural network should use is Adam solver, which is a popular one. Then I'm also mentioning that, okay, I'll not mention anything for now. There are other parameters, for example, learning rate, and also there is one alpha parameter, but I'm for now ignoring all of them. The system will use the default one. Now I'm saying MLPRegressor, that would be my object, and particularly this one will just build the neural network. Now we will provide the input in another line. So this is our first line of the neural network. here, MLP, I wanted to put underscore here. So now we have MLPRegressor, which is the neural network, but our input is not yet defined. So MLPRegressor is the object. Now the function that will create our actual neural network and do the forward pass and do all the backward pass, practically do everything, is the method fit. Okay. But in the fit method, we have to provide all the independent variables in a matrix, let's say named X, and the dependent variable, that is one column, which is pick and yield, as this one. Okay, but we haven't yet created X and Y. So what we are going to do is we are going to create that one. So we are not running it yet. But before constructing the neural network, what we are going to do is we are going to create our actual data parts. We'll take our independent variables from the data frame df, which was constructed based on pickon.txt, the data file that we saw before. So we are saying df.values, then we are taking all the rows from df.values, but instead of starting from column 0, we are starting from column 1. So column 1, 2, 3 will be copied if we put 4 here, because this last one is excluded. So now we have x, which has only the independent variables that would contain water per acre, salinity level, and fertilizer per acre. Those are the 3 columns that X contains. Now Y would be practically just the pick and yield column. So what we are going to do is we are going to take df.values, then we are taking all the rows, and we're saying that we are only taking column 4, which is the last column. That is very good. So let's run it. Okay, very good. Let's run this again. MLPRegressor, run it again. Now we have this fit method being called with X and Y, which is our training data. And we have our MLPRegressor. Okay. So now that we have our MLPRegressor, practically what we can do is in MLPRegressor, we can say predict for any new data where I have 3 values in a row. For that particular row, it can say what the pick and production would be. So before we call this predict method, let's create some sample data for which we don't know what the outcome should be. Let's consider that the water amount is 120. The salinity level is 5, so high water, low salinity, and high fertilizer. Okay, so that is one sample for which we want to know what the pick and yield would be. Then let's say low water, high salinity, and let's say low fertilizer. Then another one is, let's say 0, 0, 0. Let's see what happens. Now in the MLPRegressor.predict method, if we pass this new data for which we want to know, we want to predict the pick and yield, and then this will return us an array. That array will contain the prediction value for this row. That means this particular water, salinity level, and fertilizer, this row, and also for this row. Let's call the return value pred. So running it, so let's print pred. So it is saying that for the first row, pick and production will be high, 681. For this one, pick and production will be low. Then for 0, 0, 0, pick and production will be this one. This is what it is saying. You can change number of layers and see how it behaves. So now we have 3 hidden layers, and the first, second, and third hidden layers have 20, 30, and 40 respectively right now. So if we run with the same data, this has changed a bit. Okay. So basically these are your 3 lines. So you have this line, to define your neural network, this line to really model the neural network with your own data, and this line for prediction with new data. These are the three lines that you have written to create your neural network. And as I was saying, this package scikit-learn, using which you can create your neural network pretty quickly. This MLPRegressor does not really have much flexibility. You cannot change the objective function, which is mean squared error. The mean squared error is a widely used loss function for regression problems, and it measures the average squared difference between the predicted values and the actual target value. In an ideal situation, probably we won't directly use the data from raw file. We'll probably scale it so that all of the columns come to a certain scale, like 0 to 1 or 0 to 10, whatever that might be. You want to scale them because sometimes you might have one column that contains large values, and the neural network might start learning from that particular column because that might have huge variability. The neural network might start to capture the trends that are found in that high variability column with large values. As a result, the actual trend might be lost. The problem is generally solved by normalizing the data for each column before even applying the neural network. Anyway, normalization is a topic of another day.